Hey guys, welcome back to Rug Rambles. So, I'm not a naturally organized person, so it took me 10 years before I figured out a simple and effective planning routine that really works for me. And the secret to that is Notion. So, before I found Notion, which was about 2 years ago, I really bounced around a lot of productivity apps. It was a nightmare. But thankfully, Notion came into my life 2 years ago, and I have become much happier and collected and organized since then. So in this video, I'll show you my very simple and minimalist Notion setup and how I managed to create a system that calms my cluttered mind and soothes my soul. So without any further ado, let's dive right in to my Notion Hub. So first thing I'll just do is open up my Notion Hub. So this is kind of like my, what I call a launch pad or my life dashboard. So I've kept it really simple and really minimalist over here. If you're just starting out Notion, I really recommend that you do the same. Just keep it really simple, keep it minimalist so that you can focus on what matters and keep it as functional as possible. So I get all my icons from Flat Icon, so it's not a big deal. It's just a block color background and it's called Life Dashboard. So I've put in a quote over here. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I just thought it would be nice. So the first thing that you want to start off with is when you open up a blank page, the easiest way to populate a blank Notion page is to start off with pages. So that's what these things are. These things are pages. So for example, you just enter and you type slash page so you can embed a sub page inside, and then you can call it whatever you want. For example, if you want to start putting in notes, then I would recommend you create like a notes page, and then I recommend that you actually make the page into a database. So the database can be in the form of a table. Let's just keep it really simple for now, and we want to go for a new database. So you can just have the name and tag it by whatever you want, and that becomes like a page where you can store data in your life dashboard like this. So you can add icons like this if you want. You can add emojis. It's very simple to do that in Notion. You can just add an icon over here and it's very simple. So I'm not going to do a full tutorial here. I'm just going to run you through how my setup is. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. The first thing that I see when I open up my dashboard is really the notes, my notes database that I've created. So I have actually filtered it out with a weekly view. You don't have to do that, but that's how I chose to do it. And I just have a few like weekly agendas going on over here. And I like to tag my notes with various kind of tags for context. So I have like a whole bunch of things over here, and it is not a single select, it's multi-select, just so I can find things when I need them. Because the powerful thing about Notion databases is that you can filter and sort things the way you want to. So the reason why I've called it my weekly view is because I've filtered it to have the notes that was created within this past like month for now, or I could also put it as a week. So that would make it like a weekly view or a daily view. I could also filter it by week. I could also filter it by planning. That's just how I chose to do it. So one of the things that really helps me is to open it up and have a pre-assigned template into the weekly agenda itself. So let me show you how this works. If I were to create a new note, it will be untitled. And one of the next most powerful things about Notion is the ability to create templates. So having templates gives you almost like a pre-filled structure that leaves your brain less stressed, because then your brain just has to focus on filling in those blanks and kind of just so this reduces my stress a lot, because all I need to do is fill in the blanks and the template has already been created for me by my past self or by something I found online. So that's the best thing about Notion, in my opinion, because it frees up my brain and prevents me from having this fear of the blank page. So what you can do is actually even create a new template for yourself over here so that you can add in things that will be important for your future self. So you don't have to fear the blank page every time that you want to do something on Notion. So for example, if I were to fill it out with my weekly agenda, this is really just a template I found online and I customized it to my own needs. I just put in a cute quote over here that would inspire me every time I read it. And then I have a little box here for a weekly Sunday check-in. So how do I feel this week? What will make this week stellar for me to set intentions for the week? And any reminders that I need, as well as any sticky notes. So sometimes I might put words of encouragement for myself. Sometimes I might put things that I need to keep in mind for that particular week. So as you scroll down, it's really just the week view and a few small things that might need to be done every single week. And that is how I plan. It's really a very simple template. I have multiple templates as well for daily journaling, daily planning, evening routine, morning routine, and things like that. So let me know if you want me to cover these things in detail in another video. Now, moving on to the next part of my dashboard, my life dashboard, is beyond the notes itself where I do my weekly planning or my daily journaling, I have a brain dump, which means this is my to-do database. So all these other things that I need to do. So the first thing that I have here is the name of my task, and I've chosen to put like a checkbox on the left of it just because I think it looks cooler. And the next property or column of the to-do database is the context. So these are the things that I need to be doing this particular week. And again, I have a lot of things for my context, so I can tag it in various ways. For example, if you were to tag things with things like email or errands, that will enable you to do task batching, which means that you just filter the database for all the errands that you need to run, and you can do it all in at one shot. Or you could just filter the database for all the emails that you might need to get back to or flag out or respond to, and then you can do it all in one sitting. So this is important because you can actually get a lot of things done in the same context rather than having to constantly switch context and having your brain adjust to switching the task like that. So if I want to get things done regarding my finances, I would sit down and try to bang it all out. Or if I had a few things to do around home, like repairing something or cleaning up my wardrobe or cleaning up my room, I would just kind of put that in. So the important part about this particular brain dump database is that I put everything into this database. It's really my brain dump. I will put everything that's stressing me out and making me anxious into this. I will just add it, rapid fire, things like that, and just kind of like say maybe, for example, go to the grocery store, and then maybe one more thing would be to cut my nails or set a dental appointment. And these are really, really like the smallest things. Everything that's taking up space in my mind, I write it down. I write it down so it's out of my brain. It is not stressing me out anymore. I can chuck it out of my like mental notes, and I know that it's physically here. Then I'll go and tag it. So go to the grocery store is probably like errands. It will also be under home. These things should be really intuitive to you. So I've just picked the tags that work for me. Please go ahead and pick the tags that work for you. Cut my nails would really just be like things like life admin. Things that I have to do, set a dental appointment would also be life admin. So I just put that in. Obviously, the status of all of this is to do. So the status will change as I get things done. So for example, filming and scripting for a new video, this is something I'm doing right now. So I'm going to change this to doing. And if it's done, I'll obviously change it to done. Or if something happens, then I'll archive it. So that's what I have. Now, the next column that I have, which is something that really, really helped me a lot and changed the game for me, was to tag it by the energy requirement. How much energy would I need? This is because I used to do this thing in the past where I would put a lot of things on my plate, which required a lot of energy. And then I would get stuck doing one thing the entire day, or maybe just two things. And then I would feel like shit about myself because I would not be able to get my to-do list done. Now, I know that I shouldn't be doing that. So I tag things by energy requirement. And when I plan my day, I make sure to do things that are a mix of easy and difficult. So I would probably only pick one difficult thing to do per day. So for example, 4 or 5 stars, and maybe a few easier things to do. So that would be like my agenda. I would not make myself do like 3 things that have more than 4 stars, more than 3 stars in one day, because I know I'll be very tired and I will not get that done. So this is a game changer for me, putting down the energy requirement of the task, because if you suffer from varying energy levels or energy deficit for any reason whatsoever, which I did for quite a while, you know that you really have to plan your energy very, very carefully, and you have to get things done in the most efficient way possible. Next is the priority. So priority means like how close the impending deadline is and how high up on my list it needs to be. And this is really useful. The reason why I have this is because I have a sort function in my database that sorts everything by priority. Ascending priority means the high priority things come up and the higher energy things are also up. So this helps me to understand what are some pressing things that need to be done that might also take up my energy, which automatically kind of helps me plan my day. So this helps me a lot. And that's why Notion can be so powerful, because the database filter really helps you to arrange things and makes the systems work for you rather than working against you. And if needed, if there's a deadline for any of my to-do things, I will put the deadline. Like, for example, if I do need to set a dental appointment by the end of March so that I can get a slot in April, I would put that in, and then I would know like that these things have a deadline. Sometimes my work does not have a deadline because I'm self-employed, I am my own boss, but if I want to set a deadline for myself, that's something that I will do. And another very useful function of Notion, obviously, is its various views. So this is still a work in progress. It's not a perfect done kind of a thing. That's why you see things like table over here, but you can view it in terms of a Kanban board. So these are the things that need to be done, things that are doing, and then I can kind of drag it back and forth as and when I have changed the status of the work that I need to do. Sometimes I have one view just for life admin, just to get the basic things done. It's usually on the weekends that I look at my life admin view and try to get those things done. And then on the weekdays, I will look at my today focus and try to get those things done. So that's for my brain dump. The next thing that you will see in the dashboard is various subpages. So these subpages they are classified under headings. So how I've made these things is really just, I have made a heading. So this is, as you can see, this is heading number 2. And I just simply bolded it. And then I clicked this part and I made it into a certain color. And then to actually make these little columns, all you have to do is to kind of drag it to the very side, and then it breaks up into the columns like this. So you can watch a tutorial to find out how to do these things. But I've just classified into like adult things. So these are all like the so-called boring adult things that you need to do, like tracking your spending, planning my life milestones, planning my wedding, which is something I'm doing on Notion, food diary, which is to track my food or plan my meals for the week, having a routine, my master to-do, which is actually linked to right up here. This is the same thing. My notes, which is also a link to database up over there. My reading list and archives of like templates that I've tried that didn't work for me or things that are no longer relevant in my life. Pillars of life basically means that the things that my life comprises of right now, for example, running my business and content creation, which would be under YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, things like that. I also have a page called Manifest, which is basically my vision board for how I want my future to look like, just something to inspire me and to keep my eyes focused on the end goal and to motivate me when I'm feeling low. So that's just that. Below here, I've also put a link to database for my videos, because I am using Notion to plan my videos and to do this whole YouTube thing. So let me know if you want me to deep dive into any of these things. Today's video was really more about the notes and the brain dump, because this is what helps keep me organized and helps keep me a bit more sane when I'm feeling anxious. So the example items that I've added over here for the sake of demonstration, I can really just drag it like that if I want to get rid of it, and just press delete, and then it's gone. So that was my Notion life dashboard. Just one thing that I didn't actually cover here was my 2022 manifesto, which covers like my goals and what I want to achieve in 2022. It's just my resolutions. I put it in a separate page so that I can always be reminded of it. And I put it here on my launch page in Notion. So those are just the main things that my Notion is used for. That's how I use my Notion hub to organize my life and make sure that I'm a bit more calm and collected and not breaking down every other day like I used to be doing about 3 years ago. I hope you found this tutorial or this run through useful. So let me know if you would like me to cover any specific aspect of my Notion hub in detail next time, for example, how to make templates or these other sub pages if you want me to open them up and go through them. Comment down below and let me know, and I'll try to do that in the future video. Okay, so that was my Notion tour and walkthrough. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed it or you found it useful. I hope that this might give you a more realistic way of planning your day and something more simple and effective that might help you for those people who get very easily overwhelmed like me. If you like this video, do subscribe and join me in this journey as I create more YouTube videos and figure out how to do this whole YouTube thing. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!